The focus of our webcast today is how can credit unions be more successful in today's competitive environment. We are very excited to have Dirk Schrader and Shubhankini Pandey, our in-house credit union specialists, presenting for us today. With more than 70 financial services implementations, CRM Dynamics is uniquely positioned to serve credit unions in implementing Microsoft Dynamics 365. The platform gives you the opportunity to gain a 360-degree view in dashboards, anticipate your customers' needs ahead of time, and grow your client base. To give you more information and exciting details of CRM for Credit Unions platform, I will pass it off to Dirk and Shubi, and I really hope you enjoy the webcast.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This is Dirk Schrader here. Any questions that you have during the presentation, feel free to type it into the chat. And the other thing is, if you like what you see, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll have one-on-one sessions where we can actually go through the functionality with you specific to your business needs. So obviously, for confidentiality reasons, what we want to do here is give you an overview, hopefully get you interested and educate you a little bit about some of the software we have and how it can help you. All right, so getting into the demonstration, that is myself. And who's CRM Dynamics? So we are a Microsoft Gold partner specialized on Dynamics 365. We've been in business for 13 years now, and we've done over 200 projects, and a number of those have been in the financial services space, and we've done a few for credit unions. And actually last year, one of the credit unions we implemented for won a marketing award, and I believe this year they're the fastest growing credit union in Canada. So we'd like to take a little bit of credit for that. All right. A little bit more about us. It's also on our website. Bill Gardner and myself, we're the owners and founders of CRM Dynamics, and we've actually been implementing CRM systems and helping businesses since 1994. So we've got a rich and deep background, and we can bring that expertise to you. Our team, all CRM experts with a lot of skills, and we have over 70 people on our team. So why Dynamics 365 for credit unions, and how can it help your sales and marketing? So the way you do that, and I'll be showing you the secret sauce, is you need to understand in today's environment who your customer is, what they want, and exactly how you can benefit them. So that's the idea of micro marketing, or directly targeted selling. So that's what we'll be showing you, how our software can help you that. So main points that we'd like to go through is nurture member relationships with 360 view of customer. So what you need to do is you need to understand each of your customers, the products they have with you, the products they're interested in, key dates for renewals, or key dates where things are changing with the client, so you can message them with the right products. So that brings us to the second point. Manage targets, pipelines, and progress for the branches as well as for your employees. So you want a clear view of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then people can action back on the responses from your prospects and from your customers. Target and personalized digital marketing campaigns. So once you have all this information in your system, what you can do is you can do specific questions and find directed value for your different segments of your customers, and send out messages that target them directly. So, and we've done that before, and as we go through the deck, we'll explain how that works and how it can do that. To make that easy, you need to leverage cutting-edge AI and business intelligence through Power BI and through the segmenting of the platform. So we'll show you how to do that and how to get the information into the CRM system. Last part is, by doing this, you'll improve your operational efficiency and streamline and automate your business processes. All right. So what are the elements of doing this? Oh, there we go. It took a second to switch there. What's the main element to do this? The key is to have a 360-degree view of your customers and your prospects. So you have information in your banking system about your current customers. You might have prospect lists in other databases. You might know from your customers when they're looking at different products. But what happens is all this information is usually in disjointed places and they get lost and they don't get actioned on. So for example, a rep might know a good customer and they might know that customer is looking at buying a car in the next month or so, but they keep this in their email or they keep it on a post-it note on their desk, and then they go on vacation and no one reaches out to that customer even though you know they'll be needing a car loan. So that's where the CRM system comes into place. You capture key information like this in the system, and once it's captured, the software can automatically send out the messaging that's appropriate. So if you have a prospect client, they're looking at a car in 3 months, you put that date in it, then 1 month before it can automatically send a campaign about car lending. 30 days before, it can have another message, the day on, and then follow up, etc. And that's how you build the value for your customers, and you get a complete view. So what are the different data sources that you want? You want information about the prospect products that your clients are looking at. You want people on the internet who are registering to your pages or to your events. You want that in an active prospect list so you can send them updates on a regular basis. And you want to capture why they came to you in the first place. Were they interested in RSP? Were they interested in special lending? Were they interested in mortgage? And then you're directing the right communications back to them instead of just generic communications. So that's what that slide has. Pipeline management. So with traditional marketing, what you might do is you might gather the information from your different systems, from Excel sheets, from Outlook, and you decide to do a campaign. And then that same list, you might do the same actions, you might do some calling, you might do a letter campaign, you might do an email blast, but then that's it. That's now orphaned. With our system, not only can you get that information all in one system and segment, but then you can put the nurture campaign part of it together. So if you ask people about a mortgage and it turns out that 1 or 2% take it, that automatically comes off the next messaging, and then you're not sending them in 30 days, hey, do you want a mortgage? Because the system understands they've either indicated they're not interested or they actually have a mortgage with you. And if they now have a mortgage, the email message to them instead might be, now do you want a line of credit on your house? And you've changed the categorization of that client and you're sending them directed messaging. So that's the key of the system and the central data. So our product called CRM Dynamics Credit Union Blueprint puts that information together. Your organization, I'm sure right now, has an email blast system. It has a way to query the data from your different systems. You probably have a lot of Excel sheets where you capture other information. This puts it all together in one place. All right, so here I'll talk about the specific features. Does anyone have a question so far about the value proposition of the software and what the main focus is of how we provide the extra value? Okay, I think we're good. Feel free to type in if there's questions. So the main elements of the software, 360-degree view of your contact. So for that, we typically link into your banking system. We'll link into your insurance products database. You might have a separate special loans database. You could have Excel sheets that are managing prospects. So we can actually connect to these different data sources and present them all in one place. That's the 360-degree view of contact. Next is member management. We have web portal so that information is available to your clients on the internet. They can self-serve, and through that self-serve, if you send them events, they can register for events. If they are interested in products, they can get access to information booklets about those products. And any actions that are happening, that feeds into the database and provides that information. So if you see on your contact records certain individuals looking for a certain article on car loans, now you know to market to those, and that's how those connect together. Engagement tracking, that is where you have your inbound calls get captured and feed into the CRM system. If you have live chat on your website or email inquiries, that all comes into the CRM system, and that can feed your campaigns. Goal tracking, what goal tracking is you can now set targets for branch managers, tellers, your marketing team, and it gives you a fun and easy way to see the productivity of your different campaigns and what is successful and what is not. So you can learn from that. Pipeline management. Pipeline management keeps track of all your different interactions, and are they at the prospect? Are they a customer? Are they a customer but we're prospecting in certain areas of business? All that is managed in one place, and it gives you the ability to send out the right messaging to the right people. And the reporting and analytics, we use the Microsoft Power BI platform. It's one of Microsoft's most exciting products in the last few years, and it's just phenomenal. So we're finding a lot of the credit unions we're doing are using more and more of the Power BI for reporting, and our system feeds right into that. So with Power BI, you can actually have a report that takes data from different systems and presents it in one graph. So that's a very powerful tool. All right. Digital marketing automation. So we have the marketing tool integrated into the CRM. So instead of you having to segment, pull the data, and then upload it to another tool, it is all part of the CRM system. And once you have that segmentation, you save it and you just send it out, and you set what's called a campaign around each of those different communications. So a campaign can be, we'll send an email blast on the 1st of the month. We'll then follow up on the 15th of the month. That email is to invite people to a webinar event that is promoting a product. Anyone who buys the product automatically gets removed from the campaign as it happens. For the event, it would automatically send out a one-day reminder to everyone. You host the event, it can automatically send a survey out to everyone who attended. The people who did not attend, it can say, sorry, you missed the event, but here's a summary of the information, and here's a link that gives you a summary of that. So the integration of the digital marketing plus event management all in one place coordinates that very well. One Microsoft, this is based on the Microsoft platform. So if you have any other Microsoft technologies in your organization, they link seamlessly in. So that can be Microsoft Office, so the Outlook. From an email perspective, you can use the CRM right from Outlook. You can link email communications into it. If you use Excel, you can upload data from Excel, and you can actually edit CRM data using Excel. So a lot of people find that very comfortable, and they know that technology. The Power BI, SQL Server databases, the cloud, any Microsoft technology will natively integrate with our solution. Security model, it follows the Microsoft security model. So it's very secure, and you can feel very comfortable that that is being met no matter what. Multilingual, we have our product in English, French, and Spanish. and operational support. So we support the product. However, if for any reason you don't like working with us, there's over 1,000 Microsoft partners in Canada, and also Microsoft CRM is a well-known platform, so if you have an internal IT team, they can also support the platform. Our preference, obviously, is that we're your main go-to people, but you have a lot of options, is the key. All right, so a little summary slide here. Automate customer onboarding and other journeys through the web and through the campaigns that we have. Increasing wallet share. So how do you increase wallet share? The way to do that, like I mentioned before, is you segment customers who have certain products. So first thing you do is you have to understand that, and that's where the CRM comes into place. You understand exactly the products that people have. Then you can find the gaps where you add value, and you send out specific campaigns to those people with a specific product that would benefit them. So that's what's different, right? You're micro-targeting the message, and the system then automates that whole communication path. Plan and coordinate upcoming events, venues, sponsors, sessions. The CRM can organize that all for you, which makes it very easy to manage, right? Instead of having different players in your organization trying to do different things, and they can conflict. Within one system, it's all in one place. All right, demo. So I will now speak directly to the software itself and talk a little bit about it. So first thing to understand is Dynamics 365 is a platform that can be customized. So every single field that I'm showing you and the data that I'm showing you can easily be modified and moved around. This screen isn't coded, it's configured. So what that means is on the left-hand side where we have contact information and it scrolls down the entire left-hand side, if for some reason instead you wanted that to go across the top, it's very easy to do that. So we have some organizations that have a very basic IT team and they manage that process, or we can do that as part of the implementation for you, or even some end power users, you might give the ability to make some cosmetic changes and look and feel changes. The other thing to know is if you look at the top left where it says John Doe, and it says contact : CRMD Cub, there's a little drop down arrow there. That is different forms. So if I had a different security role, or if I had a different role in the organization, this form could pop up and it would be appropriate to my role and what I need to do. So if I wasn't allowed to see account data, for example, that could be removed for certain users. So just so you understand the high-level solution. All right, so in this contact, this is where we have the 360-degree view of the customer. So we have their standard tombstone information. We have the high-level financial data that gives you an idea of how important the customer is to the institution. We have your account details for your different services that you're providing. And that's how you do your segmentation, right? Someone who has a mortgage with us, they're a high-value client, they've been with us for a number of years, but they don't have a credit card with us. You might make a special offer and tie the credit card to your mortgage information and say you're pre-approved. And with this micro-targeting, you send out a different message to those people than you do for a general credit card. So there you are. Okay, a little bit more 360-degree view of contact. This is one of the other main tabs across the top. When we click through, we see the different information. Here we have recent activities. So in here, if a person comes into the bank and speaks to someone and says, I'm interested in buying a car, mine's running down, but I'm not doing anything until the summertime, this is where you put in that opportunity, and that would automatically start the nurture campaign to act on that. Other sources for that information is on the website. People can inquire, and they select what they're inquiring about, and that can launch an opportunity and a campaign. Cases is specifically designed about questions or problems that people have. So if a person comes in and they complain that their credit card was canceled during a vacation because of a security risk, you can capture that information and then handle the client a little bit differently to try to make it up to them. If they have a specific inquiry, that's what the cases would manage, right? And given that type of targeting, you might periodically turn a negative experience into a positive experience and say, look, we know that you weren't happy that we couldn't get you the full mortgage amount, but we do have a special promotion on this that might be applicable to you, and in this way you're hopefully turning a negative into a positive. All right, household overview. So here you can also have a view of all the different elements of the household. So you might connect family member information, you might connect related influencer information, and you can connect financial information with those different parties, and this gives you a better view of your client to help with your segmentation. Okay, so here we have a lead, or the same concept as an opportunity, and across the top you see the business process that we have. So here we've built in qualify, develop, and propose. So the software, when you get an inquiry coming in, depending on the channel, you can put it into one of these different buckets right from the get-go. So qualify is typically what you would do is if you have people joining into a webinar, or if you have people sending in an email to you. So it's at that point it's very vague. You might not know a lot about the information, and you might want to follow up in some way. So typically what you want to do at that point is the first thing you want to do is you want to see, is this a person who is a good customer for us if we were to win them over? So that might be some research. You might even do a credit check on them to see net worth and value. So once you've qualified, you can then put them into develop, and develop is ideally you've already identified the types of products that can benefit from them. And if you're not sure, you just say the general bucket of products, right? And then they would get the typical email marketing. But the more you can segment and the more you can target an individual, the better. And then the more likely you will get responses from them. Moving along, pipeline management. So pipeline management is the concept that you can take your prospects and you can take your existing customers that you're segmenting and trying to sell new products to, and you can give them responsibility. So it might be the agent who's responsible for those people, or it might be the department within your bank, or it could be the branch manager. The idea here is you're driving responsibility down to people who will actually care about the results and take more action on it. So here the software puts it all in one place. You can report on the actions that are happening, and in very quickly you can have follow-ups with your own internal team, and they can get excited with what's happening and what dollar amounts are being reflected in the system. Probably now you have vague targets and Excel sheets and vague meetings, and you just get a much better response rate when it's all visible, it's easily graphable, and you instantaneously see the results when sales are made or you have updates from your customers. All right, pipeline management. Here are the dashboards out of the CRM system, and we also connect to the Power BI dashboards. So what I wanted to show here is the idea that you can present specific data for your different stakeholders that is relevant and actionable for them. So if it is an individual teller, you could have targets for that person, and they can manage a pipeline. At the branch level, you have your targets and pipelines, and managers and marketing team all the way up to CEO sees these graphs with the data relevant to them and sees instantly how effective different campaigns are, what's working, what's not working, and then you can quickly change your behavior to be more successful. All right. Case sources. So where you want your information coming into the CRM. The key here is one system becomes that 360-degree view of your client, and it can get information from all your different channels that you're talking to your customers. So forms on your website can come right into CRM. Live chat. What we've found is live chat is implemented with a lot of organizations, and it's a great way to reach millennials and younger customers, but without having the context of what people are talking about, it's very, you know, can I help you? Is there anything there? The idea is to get the information quickly about a person so you can start offering good products to them and be responsive in a meaningful way. And so those live chats can be automatically captured and stored into the CRM, so that becomes data you can mine and act on. Outlook integration. So anyone who's using Outlook and you get an inbound email from a customer, you can attach it right to the customer record. And again, this becomes actionable data for you to run your campaigns on. And of course, internally, your reps, your marketing team work right out of the CRM system to generate that data. All right, case management dashboard. So if you have a ticketing or case management system, our association blueprint, credit union blueprint, gives you that one place to organize and coordinate to action on inquiries. So when a customer calls and they say, you know, I need help with this, and you say no problem, if it's captured in the CRM system, the system will make sure that person gets a response in a timely manner. If a person decides to be sick the next day, that gets escalated to an appropriate person who can take over. You know, and at the very least, they can say, you know, sorry, Wendy's on vacation for 2 days. Do you want to wait until she's back, or can I help you? Right? Even something like that makes it, you know, very friendly, and those types of messages can be automated as well. So here, case management, you see open cases, you can see cases by person, you can actually drill down on the cases, and you see what is happening, and you determine your service levels of the response times based on the type of case you have. So all that's configurable within the system. Case management dashboards, a little bit more detail here. As you see, the different graphs and symbols. So within the CRM, if I click on any one of these graphs, I can actually drill down into the specific records that make up for it. So for example, in the lower circle, if I was to click on the green, I would see those 4 records that make up that. So it's a very nice, powerful tool and very quick to get to the information you need to action on. Case management. So here is an actual record of the case. And again, this can be configured for your organization to make it more relevant to you. And across the top, we have the business process and the state that that's in. So right now it's on identify. Once you've identified it, you set who needs to resolve it, and then that goes into the research, and that kicks in the service level agreement and the auto reminders to make sure it does get resolved in a timely manner and keeps track of who resolved it and what happened. So very powerful that way. All right. So here is knowledge articles. Part of what we talked about before was the idea of segmenting and sending out appropriate messages. So within the CRM system, you can link your knowledge base and your articles and your marketing material. So when you send out a campaign, you can have links directly to that information. If you have inbound emails where people are asking questions, you can quickly respond and attach templates that also have this knowledge base linked to it. So it becomes much more rich and much faster to respond to people with better information. And that better information is the key to winning clients and keeping clients. This knowledge base can also be integrated with the website, and then you can have the self-serve element of the website. If you add any knowledge base in here or modify, as soon as you publish it, then it's accessible. If it's in draft, then it's not. So in draft mode, you put new articles, you put new content, you make sure it's been approved internally by all the correct people before you actually publish. And then the active publishing, it does the same thing as normally you sending it to the web team, and then you sending it to the marketing team, and then you sending it to the branch managers. So with one click, you have all those distributions happen automatically across the system. All right. Okay, campaign management. So here is where you set up campaigns, and campaigns can be complex campaigns. So what I mean by that is you can have a campaign that says, we'll start with an email blast, and then people who respond back, we'll do a phone call campaign, and it will manage the phone call tasks. And then people who respond positively to phone calls will then follow up with a letter, and that letter will have certain content. And then people who respond to the letter will then have another phone call to hopefully sign the deal. So your campaigns are not limited to only email. You have all the other elements of your CRM system that you can bring into your campaigns to have a rich experience. This is where segmentation is really important, because what you might say is, for people below a certain net worth, we will email them the different campaigns, but if you have a greater than X dollar net worth, instead we're going to have you go to the calling campaign. And now your people who are calling are spending that valuable resource to prospects that have high value. So it's a better match of your resources and your prospective people you're trying to reach. All right. Segmentation. This is a screen that has your query language that you then generate your campaigns and how you segment your individuals. So the idea here is to show that any information in the system is, you are now able to query on that to generate your segmentation. So if you've captured information from some individuals that are interested in cars, you can query on that. If they're interested in RSP, or they have children in high school that'll be going to university soon, you can capture that information and query on that. So very, very powerful builder. If you have done any type of queries in any reporting product or even in Excel, then you can learn this in a couple of hours. So very powerful and very simple to use for end users. The other thing is, when you create a campaign, we create something called a dynamic campaign. So what that means is you save your query, but every time you run the campaign, it applies that logic to your current data set. So for example, if you say, I want to send out an RSP campaign to high value people, and you save your query, when you run it the next year, it will now look at the database and it'll apply that same logic to the current people in your database who meet that criteria. So that's very powerful. You save it once, but every time you refresh it, it will look at your current data to find the people that are appropriate to send to. All right, digital marketing automation, dynamic marketing emails. So here we're showing you the rich editor and the type of content you can send out with the email system. So it's a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get editor. There's an option in there that you can see what it looks like on different size screens or on a mobile device. You can add buttons and actions like the Register Now button, And when people click on that, you define the landing page they go to or the microsite. So if you have the portal portion of our Credit Union Blueprint product, in there, when they hit the microsite, it captures that information. You serve up information there, and then you can click and ask them to register or sign up or do different actions. In the emails that you send out, you see the open stats and you see click stats. So if a person clicks, but for some reason they don't do an action on the website, you know that they clicked on the link to this specific micro campaign, and you can then appropriately action on that. So yeah, very powerful tool. Okay, marketing forms and tracking. Here is how you build the micro sites and the forms for the website. So with the product, if you, let's say I wanted to do a new campaign for car lending, and you want a home site that says special promotion, interest rates have just dropped 0.25% on car loans, you have been pre-approved because of your net value, and you know our history with our institution. Therefore, if you sign out, we'll send you the application form, half of it pre-filled in, you just have to sign in and you're off to the races. So here is the editor where you would drop in that information that gets captured right into CRM, and you would direct the end user to do the next step. So with a little bit of work and with a little bit of setup, you can automate that entire campaign and make it self-serve. So very powerful that way. All right. Digital marketing automation, voice of the customer. Within the Microsoft CRM product, there is a database you can subscribe to which will give you rich information about every person in Canada. So using this, it's almost like going to LinkedIn or Facebook. You can find some basic information about people, and it gives you getting good information. The other thing we have is survey capabilities, and you can send out surveys and capture information and have that come right back into the CRM system. So this is the survey template. So this is the editor that's showing you creating a survey to send out to people. Based on responses here, you can have automated responses back to the client. So if a person shows they're very interested or very satisfied, or if they click would like to learn more, you can have it automatically send out relevant information to them to take them to the next step. All right, customer journey. Here is that concept I spoke to earlier about how you would set up that logic of how we're going to run a campaign for a customer. So as you can see, it's easy to build the steps. They're drag and drop. The logic that you have is very clear. So on the second green box called trigger, if clicked or opened, so there's the logic. So if yes, it goes to the right, and if no, the X, then it drops down and it goes to the next activity below. So you can see how easy it would be to put a meaningful process or story together for your campaigns. All right, ROI, the return you're getting dashboard. So here with your campaigns, you can capture the information. You can capture your costs that it takes you to run a campaign, and then based on the responses of customers, you're getting the equivalent of revenues, and you can report on that. And this is all real time. So as soon as you do an action and you update your costs, these graphs are updated. And when people buy products, they link back into the CRM system, and that gives you the revenue side of it. And this allows you to quickly add resources to campaigns that are effective, and also quickly stop campaigns that are not effective and are not reaching people. So simply by responding to what's getting responses, you'll be spending your resources on more impactful things, and that alone will make you more successful. All right, event management. So a lot of events is typically something that is difficult to run, can sometimes be disorganized, take a lot of resources, and so they tend to be something that are not used as much as they could be or should be. So events can be simple things like come into the branch, meet with the manager, they have some time on this date. It could be webinars, it could be, hey, here's a launch of the website. What events do is they generate interest. They give you something to talk about. It's a meaningful message to send out to people who could potentially be interested in that. So within our credit union blueprint, we have event management. You can create events. You can set maximum number of attendees. It'll keep track as people subscribe, and once they fill up an event, it can have an action saying no more, or they get onto a waiting list. You know, the waiting list is nice if you have the opportunity to increase the size of the venue, or you just bump them to the next event. So because the system makes it so easy to track and manage events, our customers who use it just tend to have more events, and then they find they're getting a much richer and better response from these people. Okay, and here's event management in the calendar view, so it keeps track. Your own people internally can see the events where they are, and it shows you where we're in the process of managing the event and how we're doing, and is it going to be successful, because we've done everything we should in order for the event to be managed. So if also if you have the portal side of our product as well, you can have self-serve where people can sign up through the portal. They can pay if there's a fee for the portal. They can get notes about the event, etc. for the self-serve side of it. All right, built-in dashboards. So this is something that's really powerful with the entire platform, is the access to information and everyone being able to see information in real time. All these graphs are updated the second the information underlying changes, and they're all security driven. So if I look at a dashboard called total revenue, it would only show me the records of total revenue that I'm allowed to see. So if I was you know, working in one branch, I might only see a very small portfolio, whereas if I was the head of marketing, I would see the entire organization's portfolio. So the CRM will handle that data security, and the presentation is very powerful and very flexible. All right. Here's some examples of branch sales reporting. This is a Power BI report, again, right from the CRM. You click it, and we present Power BI or the CRM report seamlessly. This is, we're showing off a little bit how the some of the graphs can get really powerful. So we have the concept of heat maps that are on maps, so you can geocode people and products and tie sales to it, and that gives you the different sizes. Colors you can attach to segments to get the different colors. We handle graphs, we handle bar graphs, we handle line graphs, and all this stuff is immediately responsive. So in the top left, if I click on a certain name, within seconds it would show the data for that. Yeah. And here we're drilling down. So on the top left here, we've highlighted Alan now, and the data set has reduced to only show Alan's data. So it's interactive like that. You can just click on it, and you see immediately the responses of your data set. So. All right. Branches, here's the concept that you can ask questions. So if you're not exactly sure which report you're looking for, you can actually type out a question. So here, what are the total sales for my branch? You can type that and you'll get a result set. Or what are the total mortgages sold from this date to this date? And you'll get a graph of those results. So that's a really powerful, neat tool. So, and if you join one-on-one, we'd be happy to show you some of that typing. That's pretty amazing how that comes up. All right. Yeah, here's the example of the graph that would pop up when you type a question. So this is total sales by time, and time would have been defined by month. All right, so we're near the end. Want to wrap up again what our product does, why it adds value. Even if you don't buy our credit union blueprint, following this idea of micro-segmenting and having specific messaging for specific people will help your business. We believe to do it well and to do it consistent, you really have to automate it and have the software help you do it, and that's where our product comes into place. So main points again, you want the 360-degree view of the customer so that you can nurture them appropriately. Second point, manage targets, pipelines, and progress for branches as well as employees. So you see in those charts and graphs and reports in a real-time basis the data relevant to you and what you need to action on. Third point, target and personalize digital marketing campaigns. You want to micro-segment as much as possible with meaningful messages to the right people. And I hope I've shown you how the software can do that and really help to do that efficiently and at low cost with the right messaging. Leverage cutting-edge AI and business intelligence, a strong point of Microsoft. And last point, improve operation efficiency by streamlining and automating business processes. If you do any of this now, you know how many systems and how much problems there are between getting the data between them all, consolidating the data, acting on it. Imagine it all being in one system where you can set these stories and action on it in one place. And I think you know why this might be right for you. All right. Any questions or any concerns? And what I'd like to do is anyone that would like to drill in, we would normally have a meeting with just you, with one customer, because then we can talk about your business and your concerns. We found in these wider webinars where we have, multiple institutions, people don't like to talk about their business specifically. Totally understandable. So feel free to reach out to us here. My name is Dirk Schrader, or you can speak to sales, and we would be happy to do a one-on-one and show you more details or dig in.
Thank you, Dirk. There are some really good questions that we're going to discuss in a few minutes. If there are additional questions, please begin to type them in the question box for us, and we will answer them for you. I will also be emailing out the recorded version of today's webcast. Just in case you know someone who was not able to attend today, please sure to pass that along to them for us. Okay, so now on to questions. We have, we are based in Canada. We need guarantees that our client data will be only stored in Canada. Can we get those assurances?
Yeah, so Microsoft, I believe, is the only cloud provider right now that has a guaranteed Canadian cloud. So you specify that when you specify your D365 instance, and the data is guaranteed to be kept in Canada, and the backup and the live backups are also within Canada. So the the federal government has certified CRM for Canadian government, with including healthcare information, tax information, and a big part of that was the fact that Microsoft invested in Canada-only data centers. There's one in, I believe, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, and that's what supports Canada.
Okay. Does your system integrate with financial and other banking systems? Yeah,
so the question is, what banking systems do we integrate? We've integrated to about 5 different banking systems, plus with CRM in general, we've integrated with about 10 different ERP systems. So we've integrated with SAP, NAV, GP, AX, some of the banking. Do you remember some of them?
Fiserv's DNA and Universe are some of the examples of the banking systems.
Yeah, yeah, Universa, Pfizer DNA. So any banking system where we can get either query access to the backend database, or they have an API system we can integrate with. And more banking systems now are supporting Power BI natively. So anything that supports Power BI, we can also use those data feeds to feed the CRM system.
We have a website and a web development company that we like. How would you work with them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our portal is designed to work within your CMS system, and what we do is the portal pages you make look similar to your CMS system. CMS's content management system. So that can be WordPress, it can be Drupal, it can be your custom built website, and we work right alongside with that. So once you have the same cascading style sheet to it, the experience is, if you look at the URL bar as you're navigating the site, you'll see the pages change, and it will be changing to the portal side. But if you're not paying attention to that, it just looks like you're in one site, and it becomes seamless. So this makes it very easy for us to work with your web development, your internal team, or an external vendor. Everyone knows what pages and what content they're responsible for. Yeah, and we do that with all of our clients.
Can you integrate to legacy systems? We built an in-house solution with an SQL Server database.
Yeah. Yes, we can integrate with any of the Microsoft products. We have one client, and they have a SQL Server, I think 4.0 database. This was no longer supported 10 years ago. So any Microsoft technology we can link to. We link to Oracle, we link to DB, we've linked to other proprietary databases. As long as they have an ODBC connection, we can connect to any data source, or if there's an API. So yes, absolutely.
We have an enterprise agreement with Microsoft. Do we still buy the CRM licenses directly from Microsoft?
Okay, great question. So Microsoft has many different tiers of how their licensing work. If you have a licensing agreement of a certain level, you probably already own all of your CRM licenses. So we work with you, and we basically host our product within the cloud. So if you don't have any Dynamics products, we can help set you up on that. If you have an existing tenant, we just become part of that and we help you out. If you have an internal IT team that manages your tenant, we can just ship you solution files and you manage the whole thing. So yes, if you have an enterprise agreement, you might already own the product. We would just have to add our solutions and integrations to it. If you don't have anything, we can help you get into the Microsoft cloud and introduce you to a wonderful world, in our opinion.
Last one. Do I have to get all of this at once, or can I buy it in parts?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So what we've shown you today, can you buy it in parts? Absolutely. Now the value is, the full value has all the different parts working together, but you can absolutely start with parts of it. So the minimum viable product that we recommend is the Microsoft marketing plus 1 or 2 data feeds, one being your bank system and the other one being your next most significant product database. So with that alone, we can get you up and running. We've had one client we got up and running on the marketing side within 60 days. And then you build on it from there, right? And then usually the last most complex piece is the portal integration. But again, that's up to you. So you determine as an organization how much of the product you want and at what rate. We can sell you it in pieces, or you can do the whole thing.
We did have one more come through. We use Office 365 extensively. Are there good connectors to the Dynamics platform that is important for us?
Yes, yeah. So the connectors are native to the product. If you're running Outlook 2019, you don't even have to install software. It just automatically recognizes the CRM as a data feed, and it's part of it. If you're on Outlook 2016, you just have to configure the server-side connector, and it pops in. And for previous versions of Outlook, you just have to install the CRM connector. From Excel, it does the download and upload natively from Excel 2016 and above. And the Power BI features, that's part of the Microsoft platform. So if you haven't rolled it out, you can. You have licenses if you have any Microsoft product. Probably you just didn't know you had it, so we can show you how to do that.
Okay. Thank you for all your questions. If you would like additional information or would like to set up a demo to see the product again, please feel free to contact sales. I believe the information is up on the screen. I would like to thank you all for taking the time to attend our presentation today, and we really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.